Good evening. You've just tuned into A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spaulding, and this is the day that the Lord, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Does anybody have the glad glads? They used to say that years ago. I have the glad glads, and I tell you, I have the glad glads because I have somebody that is coming on this evening that is super fantastic, amazing, phenomenal woman by the name of Tina Lane. She's a coach, but we're going to be bringing her on in a few minutes. But you know, this has been some interesting weather. It's been raining, then it flooded a few weeks ago, and I have never saw a river go through this street, this block. This whole block is a long block in Union, and the water was up by the complex we live in. It had pushed the cars back up on the sidewalk, and it was just interesting to see. But I said, you know what? This is not Noah's flood, because God promised us that there would not be a flood anymore. He would not destroy by the water. But you know, sometimes we think we're like, oh my God, is this the end of the world? But it's not. But you know, women, you are so amazing. And I know one thing, that God loves you and he's concerned about you, and you. I see those of you that's coming on. Blessings to you, Mother Nancy Hayes. I see you, Cynthia Houghton, Andrea Patterson, Angie Benson. I need you guys to help me to build this audience, because we have something good to talk about with the women Dare to Dream. Some of your dreams might have been shattered, or they have been killed by somebody that just not dreaming, or haters. But what we want to do is we want to share. So you share with your friends, or you can tag your friends and let them know that A Godly Woman's View is on the air. Listen, I'm going to bring on our guest on this evening. Oh my goodness, I forgot to do something today. I forgot to get my water, but that's okay. I'll when I get a chance and I have her talking, I'll get up and go get my water, because my mouth got dry already. But bless the Lord, oh my soul. Is everybody good? If you're good, just type in the comments and put hashtag I'm good. Come on, put hashtag I'm good. If you're good, if you're not good, put hashtag. I don't want you to confess nothing bad, because let me tell you something. You're the whosoever that can have whatsoever you saith. So the things that we say out of our mouth is something that we put in our hearts and in our heads, and we speak it out of our mouth. So I want you to just put hashtag I'm good. How you doing, Pastor Stephanie Kimbrough, a friend of ours? God bless you. Glad to see you and you. Oh my goodness. When Tina comes on, I want y'all to just to hit the hearts, all right? Because we just don't like, we can't hear you, but we're gonna be yay. Okay, so when you push the hearts or put the thumbs up, that's what we're gonna do at the count of 3. I'm gonna bring her on now, all the way from the backstage of the studio, A Godly Woman studio. We have coming to the stage our Tina Lane. Yay! Come on, y'all, with the hearts.
Hey everyone. Hi, how are you?
Wow, this is so exciting. And so many are saying that they're sending love to you, Tina. You look beautiful, girl. Look at your hair swinging and everything. Hey, I like that. You know what I got to do to get my hair to be swinging? I got to go down to the beauty parlor, or down to the hair shop, and get some of that weave to achieve. So you got it natural. She got it natural. Some of y'all got it natural too. That your hair just be all together all the time. You jump up out of the bed and just swing it, and it just comes back into order. But listen, you're watching A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spalding, and tonight we're going to be talking about Dare to Dream. Dare to Dream. We have Stephanie Kimbrough that says, "Hey, Coach." All right, we
Hey,
able to do
Dr.
this stuff.
Stephanie.
There we go. We here, y'all. We here. Then we have Dr. Rudine Jameson. She says, "Good evening, everyone." I tell you, I love this new technology. I don't really have to do a whole lot of talking when I see y'all guys come up and you have something to say. But if you have a comment or question to ask, you can put that in and ask that question. All right. So let's just just read her bio for you because I want you to know who we have as our guest on today. All right. So it says Tina Lane is a life coach, motivational speaker, domestic violence advocate, teen dating abuse educator, media personality, and a licensed health and life insurance producer. My God, you look so young. When did you get time to do all this stuff? All right. She has a passion to work with adults and youth on their leadership skills, emotional, physical, and total well-being. She was born and raised in Newark, and she loves spending time with her family, especially her mother, who she adores and she loves. Now, she's committed to her craft. That's one thing. She is committed to her craft, and she's completed a leadership training and conferences to obtain professional certifications. Now, over the past 10 years, she's been really busy. She has been blessed to facilitate some workshops on self-development, dating abuse, financial literacy, professional development, dress for success. Phew, we need to just do that show one day, just by itself.
Right, that's true.
For local organizations, conferences, schools, and religious institutions. Now we're going to be talking a little bit more when we speak to her about her rest of her bio, but she has her own workshop that she has launched. It's called I Love This Me I See: Steps to Loving Yourself by Following a Strategic Plan that will take you on a personal journey of loving and believing in yourself. Welcome to A Godly Woman's View, Tina Lane.
Yes, well, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so excited. I have not been on your show in a very long time, and I'm just a fan of everything that you do. I love you. I just love your spirit. You have a heart for others, and you always just inviting people to come and giving them a platform. So I applaud you on today, and thank you.
Oh wow, and you're such a doll, because we've been knowing each other. They said down through the years. Remember that song, Down Through the Years? I don't know.
Down.
I don't know myself.
Yes.
Listen, you're watching A Godly Woman's View, and I see all of you that are watching, and we're waiting for you to share and to tag and to ask your friends to come in. But Coach Tina Lane is somebody special. She is somebody special. And we're going to be talking about Dare to Dream. Now, I need to ask you a question, Tina. Do you have both devices volume on? Because you need to turn one of the volumes down. Turn one of the volumes down if you have two on.
Oh, I only have, hold on. Let me make sure.
Okay. Here we go. It's almost gone.
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we trying to do all this new technology and microphones and all this stuff. So just charge it to our head, not to our heart, because we love y'all. Okay. So let me just ask you a question, because I know the audience is sitting there on pins and needles, and their hands are sweating because they want to know something about Tina Lane. I know you're beautiful and all that. Well, who are you? Just tell us who you are.
Oh, wow. So I can sum that up real quickly. I remember one time I used to identify myself by what I do. So, but I learned to identify myself for who I am. And that's why I just want to share that for someone. You stop identifying yourself for what you do. So I am Tina Lane. I am a person who's adventurous. I love people. I love socializing. I love fun. I love my family. I love taking on opportunities. I love growing. And I just love being around people. So that's Tina. You know, that's in a summary. That's just who I am and what I love to do.
Well, Tina is a package. You're a full package. I love it. You're well rounded and you're
Yeah.
seasoned, young woman. And I thank God for you because you have been so instrumental in helping people to get to where they need to go. You know, some people don't know where they're going. They're walking. I don't know if you can walk frontwards and backwards at the same time. You can't. But anyway, some people you you know, some people they do that. You think they're doing that. They don't know which way to go. How you doing, Cheryl Rowland? Another good friend. I said all these good friends coming on here on
Amen.
tonight. Wow. And Cheryl Rowland says, "Wow, what a resume!" Oh, I'm not finished, y'all, with the resume. It goes on and on and on. But for now, we're going to just deal with that. But we're talking about dare to dream. Let me ask you another question. What are you just passionate about? If one thing that you could talk about, what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate in working with people to inspire them to go beyond their limits. Um, I have this tag name I'm called the Lane Changer. If you're looking to change lanes in your life, whether it's personal development, growth, then I'm going to help you to change that lane. So I'm the lane changer. So if I have a person that's just looking to fulfill a dream, a goal, a vision, a passion, an idea, that's what I love. That's where I get my pleasure in helping. And I believe that God has purposed me for that.
Wow. So I like that, what you just said, a lane changer. Your last name is Lane, you know. But sometimes I don't know, I like that because sometimes when I'm driving and somebody's in front of me in that lane, I can't drive behind you. You're going too slow, you know, and that's
Right.
what it is. A lot of people, they're going too slow. I mean, you know, I guess if you're gonna dream, you don't have to go real fast, but I'm just saying myself. I don't like to, I like to take my time, but I don't want nobody hindering me. That's what I want to
Right.
say. You know, I don't want them to hinder me from going forward. And some people will hinder you. They'll put on their brakes and they'll put on their brakes because they're haters, you
That's right.
know,
That's true.
or dream killers. Now, with you doing all this personal development, have you had any hindrances or struggles that you encountered in your life?
Yes, I have. First thing I had to work on that when I desire to do something, I can't self-sabotage. Many times we have ideas and I have vision, but it was me that was stopping me from fulfilling that dream because I wasn't pursuing it, whether I had doubt, whether I had fear. Sometimes I think I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the support. So one thing I would say to anyone, don't self-sabotage. You got to continue to go
Wow.
forward.
You
Success
know
is
what?
not
That's
really
good.
one day. And even if you fail, that's still a success because you made an attempt. So many times people think that failure is just I got to give up. But if you made an attempt at something and although you didn't succeed in it right away, that is still success because you made an attempt to do it. You just have to go back and revisit it. So I had to learn that because many times I thought, oh my goodness, I want to walk away from something because it didn't work out for me. But I had to learn that just because I started it and then it wasn't at 100% doesn't mean I cannot revisit it to get it right.
Wow. Well, you said a mouthful because there are those that attempt to do something, and I'm loving what you're saying because you said that you can fail at it, but doesn't mean that you have to give up.
Right.
You know, and so many people do give up. And you know, and you're a great encourager, and this is the reason why we wanted you on A Godly Woman's View tonight, because so many are dying in their with their dreams are dying, but they're dying with their dream. Now I see Richard Spalding, who is my Boaz, says, "Great evening to my sweet anointed wife Anita C. Spalding." Oh, thank you. And her guest Tina Lane, have a great discussion. So with saying that, there are those that feel as though they fail. So if they feel as if they fail, give them some advice on how to keep going.
Well, you keep doing going. You go back and revisit the steps that you use. You don't believe that failure. Again, like I want to repeat this again. You don't believe that failure means that you are not going to be successful. What you have to do is
Okay, we will stop there. Okay, so failure doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful.
right.
We could go over it. We'll take our time with it because there's some that's coming on and we want them to hear everything that you have to say. So failure doesn't mean that that you're not successful. So
No.
what we should do is what? Try again.
Try again. And then I would say, don't be so upset with yourself if you do not win at it the first time. You have to learn
Wow.
to applaud yourself. If you applied everything that you had, you used all your tools, and I'm going to use an example. Maybe you had an event and you invited 100 people to show up and you got disappointed because only 10 people came. So you don't want to do
Jesus.
that event again, right? But you have to just look at it. Look at what happened, how can I do it better? And you have to applaud yourself that 10 came. Many people started off with a small numbers, but when they kept going for it, they kept practicing, they kept pursuing, and then they saw their work and their effort paid off. So just don't quit. You know, if you listen to many different athletes, many different stars, they said, I tried, I came on, I had different acting gigs. I was a comedian for years, but I kept pushing. No one knew my name. I kept going to the audition. Just like a football player, I kept going to practice. If you're in sports, you got to keep going to practice to get better. So that's the same thing. You got to keep going to practice. You have to work on your craft. And most of all, you got to believe in you to know that you're going to be successful. So don't give up. Just because you're not winning now doesn't mean that you are not winning in general. See, I'm going to say that again. Just because you're not winning now does not mean you're not winning. Don't qualify yourself based on the quantity that you receive of the feedback. Look at the work you put in, keep doing it. And once you keep putting in the work, you're going to see success going to come from the work you put in.
Wow. Listen, Tina, you know, I think it's Thomas Edison or one of them. Yeah, I think it was him. He tried to develop the light bulb or light,
Right.
and that he did it 999 times, right?
Yeah.
But he failed all those times.
That is
But
true.
now, guess what? The 1000th time, we have light. Thank goodness we have light. We're not walking in the dark. But you know,
Amen.
he kept on going. You know, because I even felt many times that if this, well, I guess now it's not as much at all. But when I first started doing A Godly Woman's View, there was one person that was watching me. That was me. And I got so discouraged. And I told my husband and son, I'm not doing this no more. This is ridiculous. I said, because nobody's paying me no mind. And so the next week or so, another person showed up. Then another person. Then another person. I said, oh. And my son told me, Mom, what it is people are looking for consistency.
That is
They
true.
want you to be consistent in what you're doing, because so many people start things and they stop. They start and they stop. So people aren't going to support you that way. But I've been on for like maybe 10 years now. You know, and people look at us, look at you and say, well, look at them now. They look like they're doing all right, but you don't know what we went through
That is true.
to get where we are.
Yes.
Go ahead, you could talk.
No, don't what we went through to get where we are. And I just wanted to say this, many times, even when you reach a point, it doesn't mean that you still don't have obstacles. So doesn't mean, as Coach Tina, I still don't have obstacles. I just learned how to overcome the obstacles and not let the obstacles stop me from going.
Wow, wow.
So it doesn't mean I don't have obstacles. Doesn't mean I'm still not challenged. I don't have moments when I'm like, oh man. But then I have to revisit my thought process, put in place everything I have said and coach others and use it for myself.
Wow. And I see someone named Rain. She said she needs this. And there are so many women that do need this. I need this, to reinforce what I've already
Yes.
done, or to revisit some things. And, sometimes to me, I have a cooling off period where I might not can think or anything. So I just got
Yeah.
to stop and just breathe and say, okay, what's my next step? What should I do next? And
Right.
sometimes the answer don't come. And I'm
No.
like, oh my God, maybe I should do nothing. But if that dream is there,
Right.
that dream is going to come true. You know, I have somebody that says, Rain says, I might have a tumor, she said, but I still push through because God um, is with me in this, because
Amen.
she's a rapper, all right? And she's been rapping for years, and she's tried and tried and tried, but she wants to make it. But what do you want to do to say to encourage her, Coach Lane?
Okay. Well, one thing I want to definitely say, I want to be praying for her because she mentioned that she has a tumor, and we definitely want to pray for God's healing over her body, over her tumor. In the name of Jesus, we believe in God and your healing right now. And if you are a rapper, I continue to say, continue to rap, continue to believe in yourself. One thing is really good if you have other people you connected to, other rappers or resources, connect with another body, connect with a network of other rappers, so you can use them. We cannot act like we're just like by ourselves, even though we identify our ability and our tax and our skill is our own, but we can connect with others who do the same thing so we can learn from them. So if you have other people that you can connect with that are rapping, if you don't, go on social media sites and still look and see what they're doing. Just network as much as you can and learn about your craft. Learn about your craft and stay unique to yourself. Whether you go on YouTube, whether you go on Instagram, whether you go on Snapchat, TikTok, StreamYard, if you have to market yourself by yourself, rapping and letting people hear you, do that. Because you'll be surprised, especially during this pandemic. Many people never heard of so many people when they came on live, and they now have 20, 1,000, 30,000 supporters. So I would say the same to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Find especially targeted audience. That is key. So if you're rapping and you have a target audience, then you have to know what platform you're going to go on. So if you're rapping to young people, then you know that they may not be on Facebook. Okay, so you have to choose a different audience, different social media. Maybe you go to Snapchat, maybe you go to TikTok, but you have to target your audience, and that's a good way to do as well. And in your community, if there's any events where you can volunteer, because sometimes you have to volunteer and not get paid just to get yourself out there, just to
Right,
be.
exactly,
Yes, so you can do that
exactly.
as well.
And Rain says, thank you. She said, I have a show in Atlanta. I'm performing for BET
Amen.
weekend in Atlanta. That's awesome.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yes, congratulations to you being able to do that. But you said a whole lot of stuff, and it's just making so much sense, because we have to keep trying, is what I hear you
Yeah.
saying. Keep trying, keep trying. This might not work, so try this. So and I'm this type of person too. And those of you that's listening, you might be the same way, or you try different avenues. Like I used to bake, I'll just say, Betty Crocker, when they had Betty Crocker cake mix. I
Yes.
used to make the Betty Crocker cake mix, cakes out of that.
Okay.
And I would make a cake, and I took it across the street to a garbage dumpster, to the owner. And I says, I made this cake, and this cake is for you and the men. And I was like 12, 13, something like that, 14 years old. And he
Wow.
says, oh, okay, thank you. So he ate a piece of it. He says, this is good. He says, I want you to bake me one next week. I was like, okay. He said, how much you charge? I said, well, wasn't charging nothing. He says, I'll pay you $10 for you to
Wow.
bake us a cake every week. So I started baking a cake. Then it went to Duncan Hines. Then I didn't know that it wasn't the butter mix, but I started putting butter in it, and it got even better. So then I started to do cakes from the scratch. Don't ask me do no cakes now because I don't know. I wouldn't know where to start. I just forgot about that. But anyway, I did cakes from the scratch, but I just kept trying and trying and trying until my cakes were like was high, y'all. And even with my family, they would say, "My God, you make some tall cakes." Well, I used 3 pans and made layered cakes.
Wow.
So I know what you're talking about. That once you start something, you try to find different ways on how to better yourself, how to
Yes.
become better at it. And I never stop. And I know you never stop. By looking at your bio, you have not stopped yet because you are a life coach, but you're also a domestic violence advocate. Tell us a little bit about that and what made you dare to do this, to become a domestic violence advocate?
Well, I started when I was in college. I remember attending an event for domestic violence, and it intrigued my interest. But then I had a friend of mine who also experienced domestic violence in her life, and I remember what she went through. So, seeing what she had experienced, I decided that I would definitely want to become, an advocate. And I reached out to different organizations within the city of Newark. And just God has a way, because it was just happening for me. It was not something that I was searching for. He just put people in place for me. And then I became an advocate for it and an educator for it. And I became certified in it. So I love working with women. There are men, but I mostly deal with women in that area. And actually next month, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I definitely, I don't like what happens to women, but when we have tools and put in place, we can help them to get out of those relationships into a safe place.
Wow, you're watching A Godly Woman's View, and I have the privilege and the pleasure of interviewing this beautiful life coach, Tina Lane, who is so instrumental in helping to change lives. But I wanted you to know this too, that she's devoted. She is devoted to her community and to her church, and it has not gone without recognition. First Baptist Church of Hillside honored her during Women's History Month and presented her with the Hidden Figure Award for her outstanding citizenship and the example she sets forth in the community. So she is also community minded. So I'm listening to the life coach on tonight. You have to find different ways and means on how to better yourself, but it's not about just us, right, Tina? But it's about somebody else.
Right.
And that's what I always think about. How can I help somebody else? I don't ever put myself first. I said, how would this help the person? How would this A Godly Woman's View help women that I reach across the country, reaching masses and classes of women? How do I better that? And in what I see here, you're going and getting educated, but it's so good that they recognize you. This is so good. This is awesome. Now, another thing I see here is that you deal with the teens. You are a teen dating abuse educator. How in the world do teens be abused when they're dating?
Well, yes, teens are abused on many different levels. When I started off with DV, I noticed that a lot of teens were also experiencing abuse, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, social media abuse. There's so much. So I became an advocate just to educate And you have to educate teens about it because many times they don't identify love. They identify, I'm sorry, love as abuse, especially if that's the only type of love they receive. So our education just is to tell young people about the symptoms, the warning signs, different things they may be experiencing, because many times parents don't know what's going on in their children's relationship. And they think everything is fine, but you'd be very surprised that maybe the boyfriend is texting the young lady too many times, or trying to keep track of her, stalking her, abusing her, ridiculing her in school, emotional and verbal abuse. So you have to just be
Wow.
aware of that because it starts as early as 12 years old.
Really? Oh my goodness. And so there is teen dating abuse, and adults, we need to pay attention to
Yeah,
some things that are going on in our children's lives, or maybe just
yeah.
young people that you know, or teenagers. Now, Rain has a question for you or me. She says, I have a question. She wants to feed the homeless and give clothing sometimes to the homeless, even the ones who get high. But she says, I wanted to know more how to get involved with that.
Well, depends on what city she lives in. For example, if you live in the city, you live in Newark, New Jersey, you will go through City Hall. We have the Newark, New Jersey Homeless Coalition. So you definitely will reach out to them. They have people in place that will assist you in giving food and clothes to them. So if you don't, you can check with your city or your town. You can Google any shelters that may be in your area. I am also, I don't have down in my bio, but I'm definitely homeless advocate. I've been working with individuals who have been homeless, helped start a warming station back in 2000. I think that was, can't remember right now, 14. We had a warming station, and we allowed individuals to come in at the church and they slept overnight. And God
Yes,
gave me that
yes.
vision, and I work with others to get it done. So I would just say check with your local city, check with the county, or check with the state, and just Google, and you'll find that there's a lot of organizations that are willing to take your donations of clothes and food.
Wow, this is so good, because there are those that they have dreams, but they don't know how to start.
Right.
Um, Listening to you, I just want to encourage those that are watching on tonight. If you do have a dream, start.
Right.
You have to start someplace. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can start doing some things like Rain, I hear you. I would give clothes away, you know, get bags of clothes. I remember I gave away about maybe 7 to 8 bags of clothes just to some individuals, or I've taken pocketbooks, old pocketbooks that I had, and this was last year, and filled them with toiletries, and randomly drove down the street, down Irvington and down to City Hall, and I had a lot of pocketbooks, y'all. They were mine, but I handed them out with soap and deodorant. I even put
Wow.
cologne. I had so much jewelry. I put jewelry in the bag, chips and tissues and different things, and I gave away a pocketbook, and gave away. It was a call drive. I didn't have other people involved in it, but that's something that I wanted to do. So there's things that you might think that nobody wants to be bothered with or get involved with, but go ahead and try it. That's all I could say. God will drop some things down into your spirit that you can do, you know.
That's true.
So
Pastor Anita, can I say this as well?
you sure.
Um, when I started dreaming, I didn't dream to be a life coach. I didn't dream to be Coach Tina. Okay. And let me tell you how things happened. I wanted to be a motivational speaker. That was my goal. But God has a way, He'll give you a platform in many different areas. So I was speaking, but then He said, okay, I'm going to give you a different type of platform. I didn't think I'll be minister, and He put me in that platform. And then
Wow.
from ministering and meeting people, I became Coach Tina because I began helping people from meeting them in the ministry. So sometimes the direction you think that you're going in is not going to be able to, it's not going to be the direction you might want to have. but God has a way to just slightly change your path, but you have to be willing to go with his direction. And when I did, all these other doors open up. So I just wanted to share that to someone. Everything is not always in black and white. Sometimes there's going to be a little turns, a little twist when you're going after your goal, but keep going. He changed my route. I'm not that I don't love motivational speaking, but I became Coach Tina. I became domestic violence advocate, a teen dating abuse educator. He opened up doors for me to speak on different platforms, to host a TV show or host a radio show. And that wasn't my goal. That wasn't my dream. But when I said yes to
Right.
one thing, he opened up the doors for everything else. So you have to begin to say yes, that yes, I will go, I will do, even though if you change my route, and watch how he opened up the doors for you and expose you to more people than you ever thought.
Wow. And so this is so good because where you think you are going, like you said, God will take you a different route, but you have to be obedient and have a listening ear to hear what God is saying. And because I'm in the ministry, I thought that I'm just gonna do ministry, But we started
Right.
doing a feeding program and giving out coats, new coats, and all those type of things in the ministry, and having Grove Street for Jesus, and just always giving and giving. And so from there, other things started to come out of that,
Yes.
where now I would have never in a million years thought I'd be on some radio and TV. That
Right.
was not my plan. I was always afraid to do that because I
Yes,
didn't like
ma'am.
this. I only like to preach. So that was as much as I wanted to do, was to talk in front of people, was to preach, because I knew
Yes.
that I was comfortable there. But when I came and got on the TV and the radio, I was scared. Matter of fact, my husband, we had a program, he had one called Season Your Destiny radio show. And every time we would come on, I would cry. I wouldn't say anything. He had to actually start the program, Season Your Destiny program. I'm sitting there crying. My son says, talk. My husband's telling me to talk. I'm crying because I didn't think that was me. I'm like, oh my God, people don't think my voice is too deep and all kind of crazy stuff. But anyway, then I started doing it. And then I had to actually have my own show after that. You can have
Wow.
what you say.
Excellent.
So this is what I'm saying. So where we start is not where we're going to end up. God gives you
That's right.
these different stations
Yes.
of
That is
life.
true. Where you start is not where you're going to finish. And you have to be open to change. I wanted
Ooh,
to
I like
say
that.
that we have to be open to change. Many
Wow.
times we are stagnant because we're scared to change. We're scared to go in a different direction. So you have to, and you need to be open to change. That's important.
Wow. And that's good. In order to dream, you have to, as Coach Tina says, that you have to be open to change. And you can't do it with fear. You
Right.
set the goal. And matter of fact, do you think that they should set the goal above what they're going to do?
Yes, they can. You can set the goal as high. You can set it at 200%, 100%, wherever, higher than you ever thought. You just got to make sure you have the task and the plan set up to implement that to get the results you want. Because you
And you
set
know
the
what I
goal
found?
high.
Go
If you
ahead.
don't have any implementation to attain that goal, it's just a goal that's sitting there.
And you know what? Because there's things that I had put on the back burner or said I was going to do in 5 years. So there's short-term goals and
Yes.
long-term goals.
Yes.
And you might not achieve that for another 4 or 5 years,
Yes.
but you still write it down. And because
Right.
there's things that I'm doing or have done, that I've done it and now I'm going on to something else, but you can't let people kill your dreams. Can you tell
No.
them to stop that? Stop
No.
having people kill their dreams.
Stay away from the dream killers, the naysayers, the people that wanted to say that you're not going to achieve. You have to stay away from that. You got to get those, I call the circle of influence. Circle of influence are the people that's going to push you and promote you, that's going to sponsor you, that's going to mentor you, that's going to advise you. Uh, Whomever they are, make sure you just have that circle of influence. For some people, they may need a circle of influence of depending on what they're doing. It may be an accountant, or it may be a lawyer, it may be another motivational
Right.
speaker. But you have to have that circle of influence, and that the circle of influence do not have to be your family and friends. It can be strangers, as long as you understand that they have your best interest. Always have your circle of influence.
Wow, a circle of influence is so good. As Coach Tina Lane is telling us, listen, you're watching A Godly Woman's View, and this woman is awesome. Talking to us about how to dream and where she
Yeah.
started from, and she's going to tell us where she is now in a few minutes. But it's good that you have you focused. That's what. And this, I believe, is we have to be focused in order to achieve our goals and dreams.
Yes, you have to be focused. Um, Focus on achieving, and you have to believe that you can achieve that goal. So
Right.
you have to believe in yourself. So you have to be focused on the direction, the path that you want to go in. And you have to be willing to say, even if the vision get a little blurry sometime and things changes, because that
Yes.
happens. I always tell people, take off one glasses, put on another pair that's a little clearer, get a better prescription, stay focused, get the vision clear again, and keep moving.
And that's true.
Yeah.
You gotta keep focused,
Yes.
because there's always something that will try to
Yes.
deter you
Yes.
away from what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, it could deter you, but go turn around and go right back to what you're supposed to be doing, or you're
Right.
it towards. And I believe that, and I see what Raina says. You gotta believe, and this is what you said: believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe, then you will achieve or you receive, because that's what Scripture even tells us, that we got to
Yes.
believe, receive, and then we shall have them. So whatever your goal is, whatever you know what, none of us should be doing nothing.
Right.
And it takes a whole lot to do nothing.
That is true.
It does a whole lot to just sit there. Whew,
Yeah.
and you just working up the tired, working up the sleep, working up to pick up your feet, all that kind of stuff. So why don't you just do all that and do something?
That's right. Do something.
Listen, you have a workshop, and I remember you launching this, and I want you to tell us about your workshop. It's called "I Love the Me I See." Y'all can type that in. I love the me I see, because some of y'all don't love yourself. Some of y'all don't like yourself. But here
Right.
we have Coach Tina saying, "I love the me I see." Go ahead, tell them about that.
Well, I love the Me I See. I believe I launched that back in, I think it was 2017 or 2016. And the reason why I launched it was because I saw a lot of people not loving the me that they see. Their self-esteem was down, the way they felt about themselves, their self-concept, self-awareness. And I wanted just to launch something where people can believe in themselves. They can love the me that you see, love the me that you look in the mirror. And I created some steps. I think it was a few weeks, 4 week steps. If you went along with me, that I was going to help you to begin to love the me that you see. I'm looking to launch that soon, maybe again next year, but it definitely was a success that I had people join. And we begin the process of just loving who we are. It's all about professional self-development, personal self-development, and loving me, who you are. Some people can't look in the mirror and say, I love me, because they look at the scars, they look at their past, they look
Wow.
at what other people say about them. But I want people to say, I love who I am. I love the me I see, with the whole package. I love me.
Wow. And you know what you're saying, that there's some that want to imitate somebody else rather than be their own self, because
Yeah,
they don't like themselves,
right.
so they say, well, I like her blonde hair, so you go out and get blonde, and you know good and well you shouldn't be wearing no blonde long wig down to your knees, because it just don't look right on you. It might look right on that person, but it don't look right on you. So we have to find out who we are.
That's right.
And then when you find out who you are, you work with you. You got to work it, girl. Work it, work it. I
Yes,
told you we're going to have a lot of fun on A
yes,
Godly
I love
Woman's View.
it. I love it.
Listen, you are powerful. One of the Facebook users are saying, they said you are powerful, and they're definitely putting down on that statement that you just said. I love the me I see. Get a
Yes.
mirror, girls. Get a mirror and look
Yes.
in that mirror. You might have blemishes and you have spots. You might
Yes.
have black under your eyes. Sometimes I have black under my eyes. No, I'm not sick. I'm not dying. It's just that something, my pigmentation just got black under my eye. So guess what I do? I put makeup on.
Yes.
And I said, tomorrow I'm going to go get me some concealer, because I
Yes.
love me. I used to say, Tina, I didn't love me before. Oh my
Right.
God. I didn't like me. Only thing I liked about me was preaching. That was it. But then I was like, oh my God, people not gonna like me. So I always felt people didn't like me, even
Right.
though I'm lovable. I would only stay in the little cocoon until I found out that other people like me too.
Right. Love it.
And guess what, y'all? There's people that like you. I love you,
Yes.
and that's what we can we have to look into ourselves and see what we can do for ourselves that we can feel good about
Yes.
your own self. This has been great. And listen, somebody put on here, I like you, Pastor.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Like you, Pastor Anita. Yes.
I like you too. I like you, Coach Tina. I love you, girl. I love you, Rain.
I
I
love
love
you
you,
too.
Ernestine Gordon. I love you, Nancy Hayes. I love y'all. I see all of y'all on here. I just love you. I'm Stephanie Kimbrough. I love you. I like you. And sometimes women don't tell somebody else, another woman, you look really nice. I love that
That's
about
true.
you. You know why? Because they hating on you. They don't like you because they don't like themselves.
Right.
And the thing is the Bible says to love your neighbor. If you don't love yourself, you're not gonna love your neighbor. But you can love
That's
your neighbor if you're loving yourself. I don't have a problem. Hey, you want to do that? That's fine. I'll put you up and support you. That's a good thing. And this is what we need to learn how to do to really love ourselves, and then we'll be able to push somebody else. I don't have a problem doing that. I can push somebody else, support them. Go ahead with your bad self. Do it. So let me
yes.
ask you so many questions. Oh my God, oh my God. So I know you love yourself. That was a question I was going to ask you, but we already know that, girl. You loving some Tina.
So much goodness.
You're watching A Godly Woman's View, and we have life coach Tina Lane. That is, I'm telling you, that is so powerful, and she's done so many things, and she's been featured on various media outlets. Some of her interviews was on Hot 97, Love 860, Hot Atlanta, Rutgers University. She's presently the co-producer of host of the Village Drum and the Carter 101 talk show, which airs in thousands of homes in New Jersey. So we have somebody that is well-rounded. And girls, we need somebody like her, right? We need you, Tina, to
Yes.
keep doing
Amen.
what you're doing so that we could keep doing what we're doing.
Amen. Amen.
Now, I'm telling this is so good. Now, another question I want to ask you: what do women need to do that have a dream? Okay, they have a dream, but it seems as though that it just won't get up off the ground. What should they do? What
Okay.
advice could you give them?
Okay. But first, you have to identify, you know, maybe some of the reasons why. If I was working with them, I would ask, why do you think the dream is not getting off the ground? Because you have to first identify the reason why, and then we'll work towards the process of moving towards accomplishing that dream. So if you feel as though the dream is not getting off the ground because you don't have the resources, you don't have the support, then you work on creating that support for you. You work on seeing how you can do it with limited resources. If you believe that the dream is just not getting off the ground because other people have the same idea, and many times that happens, you don't think that you're going to be as successful because people are doing the same thing. But you always got to realize you have to find something that's unique Many times we do the same thing. I'm a life coach. You know how many life coaches there are? But I have to be unique in what I'm doing.
Right.
So I say to you, if you have a dream and you think because it's not going to get off the ground just because someone else is doing, find something unique about your dream. And then you work on that. And then you work on publicizing that to other people and marketing that. And don't give up. Just because hasn't gotten off the ground now doesn't mean it won't get off the ground later. You got to just keep pushing. And if anything, if you need someone to support you, then you also go get that support group. You get that um, life coach. You may get another advisor or another mentor, or you get someone that's doing the same thing that you're doing, and you learn from them. Although I'm a life coach, doesn't mean I haven't called on someone else who does the same thing.
Exactly. Right.
And they're not willing. I'm sorry, they are willing to help me because we're not competing against each other. We are helping.
Exactly. And you know what? We need to realize that we're our own competition.
Right.
That's what I say. I say I'm my own competition. I'm not in competition with nobody but my own self, making sure that I'm doing A through Z, what I'm supposed to do, and finding ways on how to do it better. Because I didn't understand about branding for some years, even though people said, you got to brand yourself. I'm like, what? What's that? You know, and I would say it many times to different people. I really didn't know, but I didn't really want them to think I was stupid. You know, it was, but I didn't know. But you know, but people, my godmother, that does my hair. She says when I put my hair in updo and down, that's signature. You know, she said that's you. So I have to do me. I can't do it like everybody else. I'm gonna do it like, you know, what looks good on me. And even
That's
with
it.
doing radio and TV and just the different outlets that Overseer Spalding, myself are on, we're not trying to do it like nobody else. We just do what God tells us to do, and that's just how it goes. He gives it to us a certain way, and we don't deviate from that, you know. And I like this with somebody put. They said we got to learn from each other. I like
Yeah.
that. We got to learn from each other. So this has been a great interview on A Godly Woman's View with a life coach on today who is just fantastic. I know we could go on and on for about 3 hours or 4 because she has so much in her to give unto us. And this is one thing that she endeavors to do, as that is to fulfill her purpose in life by having the Lord use her for his glory. And that is, I believe that is one of the key things that we need that are saved, is to have the Lord first in our life. Not just say, I got the Lord, I love the Lord, but he has to be first in our life. Because if he tells you no, that means no. If he tells you yes, then yes. Now I have a question here from somebody. Cheryl Rowland says, how can people find out about DV? What's DV? I don't know what DV is.
Domestic violence.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's Cheryl Rowland. Is that domestic violence, Cheryl? She'll probably answer. She'll type it out. But listen, this has been great. But we want you to tell them what's on your heart. Look into that camera and let them know, you know, what's on your heart about dreaming and how you can encourage them. And then I want you to tell them how can they reach you, and let them know what's coming up in your life. She said DV is domestic violence. Okay.
Okay. Amen. So I just wanted to first say, don't give up. I want to say to someone out there that has a dream, don't give up. You know, there are a lot of people who have given up on their dreams, and that's why they always say that the most dreams you will see will be in the cemetery, because that's where they have died. People have died not fulfilling their dreams. So I want you to say to you, keep pushing, keep believing in yourself, write down that dream, learn about the task that you're trying to accomplish, get training, stay motivated, be around other people that's going to push you and motivate you. Don't self-sabotage yourself. Believe in you. Believe that that dream is possible. Believe that you are unique. Believe that you can achieve it. Believe that it's not just one day success, but it's every day you have to put in there to get it done. And don't tell yourself, I'm going to do it. one day. You got to say, I'm going to do it day one. I'm going to start today. Because when you start saying, I'm going to start accomplishing my dream one day, that can be any time. But when you say, I'm going to start it today, this is day one of me accomplishing my dream, then that's a different way of saying it. So just believe in yourself. In order to get in contact with me, you can reach me at coachtinalane@gmail.com. That's definitely one way. You can also go to my Facebook site, which is Coach Tina Lane. You can send me an instant message. If you're interested in anything such as life coach sessions, you can get in contact with me. Domestic violence is next month. So if you're looking to have a speaker and you want to learn more about domestic violence, definitely contact me, coachtinalane@gmail.com.
Wow, this has been an awesome interview with you, and you've said a whole lot. My goodness, I felt as though we were in class today, y'all, didn't you? She was, I mean, you're just beautiful all the way around, inside and out, and I appreciate you, and I honor you and salute you on today, because without a Tina, I don't know, because I don't know a lot of life coach, but I know you're a life coach. I know where to go. Yes. So listen, guys, get in touch with Tina Lane, because she will direct you and she will send you to where you need to go in order to get the help that you want to further your education concerning domestic violence or teen age dating, those type of things. And she's also a licensed health and life insurance producer.
Right. That is correct. So, and I forgot to add my telephone number, so you can always call me at 973-259-6733.
Wow. This is so awesome, you know, and she's down to earth, and she will talk to you. Listen, you've been watching A Godly Woman's View with Anita C. Spalding, and this has been tremendous, just spending this time together with you. And if you desire to partner with A Godly Woman's View, you could send a donation of whatever you desire to send to $winner, WINNN, that's 3 N's, ER123. Again, that's $winner, WINNN, ER123, or Zelle 973-332-9712. If you want to help us to further what we're doing on the different social networks and platforms. And we're grateful for those of you that have been giving, that have sold into this particular talk show. Because this talk show, I want it to be a household soap, A Godly Woman's View soap. So we say God bless you to each and every one of you. Continue to have a blessed week on this week. And until next week, it will be Men in the 21st Century at 8:30 p.m. Then on every second Tuesday of the month, we have a 1-hour prayer-a-thon. And we just started that 2 months ago. And every second Tuesday is a 1-hour prayer-a-thon. And there are those from all over the country that come on and they pray for, 1 hour. And it is really good. Then on the 19th, we have a young lady that's coming from London, and she will be here. And on the 26th, Tanasha, she will be on. We just have a smorgasbord of women and men that are coming on this show. God bless you. And remember this, that I love you so much, and there's nothing you could do about it. bless you and have a great evening. I love you. God bless you, team.